Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. In the last episode, Noel Vermillion once again unleashed the power of Bulwark upon Bang Shishigami in the district of Ronin Gai. But this time we gleaned a little bit more insider knowledge into her friendship with Makoto and Tsubaki at the Inner Worlds Military Academy. Of course, we're now here at the Librarium headquarters in Kagutsuchi, otherwise known as the Cathedral, given its rather unique aesthetic, and Noel is here to finally intercept Jin Kisaragi.
No one's inside? But why?
Yeah, well, I have two theories at the moment about that, Noel. One is that the Inner soldiers being stationed here were recalled elsewhere, odd in and of itself, but the second one is slightly more ominous. The second one is the fact that they all just mysteriously vanished somehow due to some sort of phenomenon. Of course, there is a third possible theory in which there is no guards being stationed here at all, and that this was a deliberate trap, although one would actually think that some NOL patrolmen would be around somewhere.
What took you so long?
Speaking of which, there's Hazama of the Intelligence Department.
I'm sorry I'm late, Hazama.
Oh well, I just got here myself. But I was as surprised as you were. Not a single soul.
Yeah, about that. Excuse me. Sorry, had to clear my throat there for a second, but, yeah, there is, more happening here than you were letting on, isn't there, Hazama? Then again, you are part of the Inner World's Intelligence Department.
I wonder what happened.
Well, hopefully, we find out the answer to that mystery at some point.
It could be Ragnar.
It could very well have been.
You mean he attacked this base? I can't believe it.
Although, we would normally be seeing a whole bunch of corpses. Ragnar isn't the type to actually, hide the bodies, as they say.
Well, either way, there's no question that this is a strange occurrence. Be on alert. The perpetrator might still be nearby.
Well, I would say that you're right on the money about that sentiment, Hazama. And, on that note, in walks, Major Jin Kisaragi.
Major Kisaragi?
Perfectly good timing.
It's you, Lieutenant.
And as before, Jin completely ignores Hazama altogether.
This is a murderous intent. But why?
I think we're starting to partially understand a few things here or there, but we don't quite have the complete story, I'm afraid.
An order of withdrawal has come from headquarters. Please, return to your post right away, Major. I would appreciate an explanation.
Hazama finally acting from his position of authority of sorts. But Jin, once again, is fairly nonplussed about this. And once again, my controller is stuck. And there is the power of Yukiana, sir. hard at work. I have to be honest, Yukiana's scabbard there is kind of a little weird for a katana.
Why do you interfere, Lieutenant Vermillion?
I believe that is what you are doing right now.
Why is my line? Why did you attack Hazama?
Please, give me a break. I'm not good with these sorts of things.
Well, he's
I'll
gone.
ask you one more time. Why do you interfere, Lieutenant?
You should probably work on your clarification there, Jin Kisaragi, as to why does Noel inadvertently interfere on your murderous rampage against your own flesh and blood? She doesn't have the answer to that question.
What happened to you, Major? This whole incident? You're acting on your own? Why?
I see. So in the end, you were just another obstruction. Well, that makes things simple. If that's the case, I just need to eliminate you.
There's Yukiana at work again.
Major?
Any last words?
And once again, it's not Nox Centaurus versus Nox Centaurus and NOL officer versus NOL officer. But we're going to have to prove that the power of our Nox Centaurus is capable of overwhelming that of Jin Kisaragi and Yukiana.
The wheel of fate is turning.
Although, of course, if Jin puts Yukiana to good use, we could be in quite a bit of bother.
One. Action!
Let's do this. First blood. Noel is not as incompetent as he thinks she is. But there's the drive. Volverk? Oh, why did I do that? I didn't even mean to do a barrier burst. I have to put an end to this now because I can block, but I can't use the barrier Armagus. Which is very annoying. Oh, and that was a ill-fated time for Volverk to run out on me. Yes, I know you still have a barrier. Ooh. I'm once again going to abuse the hell out of Chain Revolver. Because there's nothing else I can do. No. And of course it would jump out of the way. Ooh, not this time. Not this time, Major Jin Kisaragi. Although you dodged that attack. Ooh. No. No.
You're no longer my superior!
Not anymore.
Damn!
Very well spoken.
You're under arrest!
Indeed you are. It's time to take you back. That was a clear-cut victory.
Damn it.
Well, safe to say you have been bested, Jin Kisaragi.
Major, please stop. HQ says if you return now, you won't face a court-martial.
Although, I doubt a court-martial will actually be the least... Well, I think a court-martial would actually be the least of his worries.
Don't give me orders. You know nothing.
Ah, but we will eventually find out, Jin Kisaragi. Of that, you can be certain.
I was just...
She is your subordinate, after all.
What the...
Is that you, Ragnar?
No, that was the Cauldron. And he's gone.
Major! Please wait!
Well, we failed to completely apprehend him. Hooray, team.
Don't tell me. This...
Yep, the Cauldron has awoken yet again. The building is shaking. All I can do is stand there. My mind jumps back into the past. Just like what they say happens right before you die. Or so they seem.
You're not going home, Noel? I thought your father wasn't doing very well.
It seems we're finally learning a little bit about the Vermillion family situation.
Yeah. But if I go home, I'll just make him worry. So I might be better off here.
Well, if that's what you want.
Well, I can't force you to do anything. But I do think your father would like to see you.
I'm actually with Tsubaki on this one, Noel.
Really?
That's right. My dad says the same thing. Whatever they tell you, it's always best to see them in person.
Just waiting for Makoto's text and voice to sync up there.
Stop worrying yourself to pieces over nothing and just go home to visit him. Unless... Have you and your parents had a falling out?
In Noel's case, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's it.
No, that's not it. I love my mom and dad.
So it seems that Noel feels that she has something to prove to the Vermillion household.
I've never heard you say you love someone. They must be awfully important to you.
Indeed they are. More than you realize.
Now I'm kind of jealous. Do you love me too?
Don't get awkward there, Makoto.
Noel, what's wrong?
But, yeah, Noel isn't actually feeling
Oh, it's nothing.
too particularly pleased about things.
If you say so.
Noel, if you go home, don't forget to bring me some souvenirs. I'll get you something too. I promise.
If by souvenirs you mean food, then, probably is the answer.
Sure.
Yeah. Even though she has a smile on her face, Noel is, yeah.
Jeez, Makoto!
And I was thinking, maybe something edible.
On top of souvenirs?
I doubt there's anything, but I'll look.
Well, Noel is just being polite.
Aha! Yes!
So that was your scheme all along. Eh, Makoto? But in the end, I didn't go home. I was too nervous, too hesitant. They took me in 5 years ago. I don't remember anything before that. I'm thankful they did, but still, sometimes I wonder. Maybe they would have been better off if they'd just left me. They were having trouble making ends meet before I came along, and I only made it worse. So much in the same vein as Jin Kisaragi, Noel herself was adopted by another family of the NOL. An interesting revelation. The only thing I could do to repay them for the kindness that they'd shown me was to restore the name of the once noble Vermillion family. So the Vermillions have fallen from grace in the eyes of the Duodecim and possibly the NOL itself. That was why I went to the academy. I thought that if I did well, better than anyone else, then maybe things would change. Unfortunately, the only thing you've shown any real aptitude in is the ability to use Ars Armagus, which fortunately the NOL actually pride that above everything else, so you didn't do too badly. So when the holidays came and everyone else went home to their families, I was alone in the dorms, studying. All by ourselves. Now another save. And once again there is, before us stands the side of the Murakumo unit, New 13. Recently awakened from the Cauldron. And yeah, once again I do actually have to ask, what is the apparatus that the Murakumo unit is being housed in the Cauldron to begin with? I do not have the answer to that question. But when we return, adventurers, it will be time for another showdown between Noel and Nu. As always, until next we meet.